No activity of thought is a healing influence. Therefore, no matter what I know with my mind is not going to heal anybody or help anybody or save anybody or bless anybody. And so, as I observe discords and inharmonies in the world, I am going to not take thought. I am going to stop and have no opinion, no judgment. I am going to make no statement of either denial or of affirmation. I am not going to let the human mind into this picture. I'm neither going to say it is no part of God, nor am I going to say the only activity is God. I'm going to put the finger on my lips. If I must declare something or think something, it will be something like, "Thy grace is my sufficiency." Yes, we can fill our thought with just some statement like that. Something that is not pertinent to what we are seeing, observing. If it is pertinent to that, we have entered the argument. We have come into combat with the appearance. We have engaged in battle. We are going to stand aside and not enter the human scene. We are going to stand aside without any judgment as to whether this is of the devil or whether it's of God. As if it made any difference, really, what I thought about it. Now, don't look on this as a contradiction. Our early experiences were the preparation for this. We prepared ourselves for this by building up a consciousness that did not accept appearances at their face value, but always reinterpreted them. Now, we are going to disengage ourselves from the world of appearances. Let me show you the principle behind that. Every time you engage in denial or affirmation, you are in the world of either good or evil. You are in the world of appearances, or the world of the pairs of opposites, which is the human world. And so even if you change a discord into a harmony, you have merely changed one human appearance for another human appearance. It is very much as if you had a person who was stone broke, and by your knowing the truth or some other mental abracadabra could all of a sudden produce $100 for them. Now what do you do with them next week or next month? Walk around and follow them for the rest of their lives, producing $100 bills for them? No. You see that even if you had a person who was dying of illness, and by your knowing the truth or any other mental activity could bring health to them, that you'd have to follow them around the rest of their lives, turning their ills into health. Because always there will be these pairs of opposites in the human pictures. And eventually you'd be called upon to change age into youth. Now, in this approach, you are no longer either a medical doctor, changing sickness into health, nor are you a metaphysician, turning a discordant human condition into a harmonious human appearance. You are revealing Christhood. because Christhood is the true identity of every individual on the face of the globe, man, woman, child, animal, vegetable, or mineral. Christ is their true identity. Christ meaning spiritual being, spiritual nature and character, spiritual entity and identity. The Son of God, Emmanuel. Now, in our earlier days, it was a wonderful experience to see sickness turned into health, lack turned into abundance. To those of us who have had years of that, the sad part was to see the well become sick again, or those who had demonstrated abundance go back to their old poverties again. The Bible has something to say about returning to one's vomit. In other words, we return to the positions we have outgrown because we haven't outgrown the state of consciousness that produced it. The Master, when he says, "Neither do I condemn thee," also says, "But go and sin no more." And how can a person who is of the sinful consciousness, how can they sin no more? They can't prevent sinning any more than the person who has a poverty complex can prevent going back to poverty, or the person who has a disease complex going back to disease. There's no way except one. Be ye therefore renewed by the transforming of your mind, by the transforming of consciousness. When the Christ is admitted into individual spiritual consciousness, it of its own accord eliminates sin, disease, death, lack, and limitation by being the mind that was in Christ Jesus and being the mind of the individual. When the mind that is in Christ Jesus is our individual mind, we have no possibility of going back to any place but Christhood.